everyone. I'm so glad that you guys all could make it. My name is Anissa Monteso. I am the therapist here at Howard High School. This is a group for anxiety, so in case you didn't know or you're in the wrong place, just let me know. No, we're all good. Okay, before we get to know each other a little bit, there are a couple of ground rules that I want to go over. We're going to start with confidentiality. That's the biggest one. Do we know what that means?
That you don't tell anything outside the group?
Exactly. So what we share here in this group is private, and it's also a closed session, which means that no one new is going to be coming in. It's just going to be the 5 of us every time. And what's shared here stays here. There's 2 exceptions to that. If any of you share intent to harm yourself or someone else through suicide or homicide, I'm what's called a mandated reporter, so I do have to report that to the proper authorities so that we can just do our best to keep everyone involved safe. That's the first one. The second one is if you guys disclose abuse, known abuse, to a minor, an elderly person, or a disabled person, I have to report that as well. It's those 3 groups because they are most vulnerable populations as, identified by the government. So that's why we specify those 3. Are there any questions about confidentiality? No? Awesome. Okay. I want to get to know you guys a little bit. I don't know if you all know each other or not. Like I said, I'm Anissa. So let's go around. We're going to say our name, our grade level, and then if you could have one superpower, what would it be? So let's start here with you. Wait, my name is Anissa. I'm in grade, graduated, and if I could have a superpower, it would be shape-shifting, 100%. Okay.
Okay, my name is Layla. I'm in 11th grade, and if I could have a superpower, it'd probably be teleportation or being invisible.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's nice to meet you, Layla.
Thank you.
My name's Sarah, and I'm a senior. And if I could have a superpower, it would be reading minds.
Okay. Yikes. I don't know if I want that superpower. I wouldn't want to know. It probably would come in handy, like in job interviews or something. It'd be fun.
Hey everybody, my name's Kyler. I'm also a senior, and if I could have a superpower, it'd probably either be super strength, because it's like manly and stuff, or to like run super fast, like the Flash. Yeah.
Have you seen the show?
Yeah, of course.
Can I change mine?
Yeah.
I think I'd want to breathe underwater.
Oh, I
Like a
love
mermaid.
that. That's fabulous. Oh, I like that a lot.
Mm.
That would come in handy. Maybe swim with some dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun.
I like Jar Jar Binks from Star Wars.
I've never seen Star Wars, but I'll have to put that on my list of like things to look into. Thanks for sharing.
Hi, my name is Rebecca. I'm in the 11th grade. And if I had to pick a superpower, I don't think I would know like specifically. I would want to be like Professor X, the X-Men series, like including the wheelchair minus the baldness, because that way I could just like not walk anymore. But then I still have a superpower, but I can be lazy with it, you know?
Okay.
So
A lazy superpower, I like that.
yeah.
He has like brain strength because he's really smart, so you have that going for you.
Yeah.
Telekinesis.
That's great. Okay. Well, that was fun. Thank you all for sharing. Like I said, closed group. We're going to be meeting for the next 10 weeks at this time, so during your second block, like 11 to 12:10. Does that work for everyone? I just want to confirm. Your teachers have been spoken with, so it should be fine, but if you do have any problems, just let me know. I'll go hound the principal. It'll be fine. Okay. So, like I mentioned at the beginning, this is a group for anxiety, so I kind of want to go around, or let's pair off this time, and I kind of want you to talk about what kind of group setting you guys would like to facilitate. What I mean by that is like basically let's set some ground rules so that we can make our time here as safe and respectful and inclusive as possible. So I want to hear what that looks like to you guys. If you could just pair off for a couple seconds, maybe a minute, and just kind of discuss like what's important to you.
So I really want like a fun group. I don't like the idea of like using this time and feeling like I'm in a classroom setting, just because that would be really boring.
Yeah, that's what I would
So
say.
just finding a way to make it like engaging.
Not being
and fun.
mean.
Yeah, definitely like
Yeah,
something to
right.
like take our mind off the stress
Yeah.
of the anxiety, but like still being able to talk about it. Definitely, just kind of having like that open environment for sure.
Yeah,
would
being
be
nice.
cool. So,
Yeah, I think so.
I like
Overall.
that idea.
Mhm.
Yeah. I also think that maybe like we should incorporate some like activities too.
Mhm.
He said
Yeah.
activities. I like that
Um,
too.
Maybe just lighten up the mood a
Activities.
little bit,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah,
Something chill.
Mhm.
Maybe snacks.
Ooh, bring some snacks.
Yes.
I like the idea of snacks.
Snacks. Noted.
Yeah.
Snacks. Cool. I have some snacks in my office as always, so if you ever want to stop by, come check them out. Okay. Let's hear them. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first. We basically just talked about like making this something fun and exciting, so it doesn't feel like we're stuck in a classroom. Because we're doing this like outside of the classroom. Granted, we're still in school, but just like finding a way for it to be engaging and doing like different activities to get us moving around, and so it's not like boring.
Sure. Okay.
Also like opening the environment to be able to share those concerns, but like not have it like a depressing environment, you know? Something a little bit more light and open, like she said, like doing activities, just kind of lighten up the mood, not have it feel like that classroom setting, yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things we said was to be respectful to one another and not judge one another, and also be respectful of each other's time and to be on time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we
Same.
talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was the one who mentioned the snacks as
Awesome.
well.
I'm sure everyone was thinking it, so good to hear. Okay, so I'm hearing not boring, get some movement in there, being respectful as well. Okay, I love that. Awesome. Can everyone agree to kind of abide by this? And I'll do my best to abide by it as well and try not to be boring. Okay, awesome. So we talked about what kind of group atmosphere we want to have, and I want to talk about the kinds of topics that we want to discuss. Like I said, this is primarily about anxiety, but that's going to look different for everyone. It's going to mean different things for everyone. So that's where that kind of respect can come in, just being mindful of, some people's anxiety might not look the same. Some people might be anxious about things that you're like, honey, that's nothing. And then just be respectful of, like, everyone's at different levels. So let's pair off with someone that you didn't pair off with before and talk about the kinds of things that you want to get out of the session, whether that's things that you want to talk about, want to explore, want to learn, whatever that means to you. Just what do you want to get out of our time here together over the next few weeks?
So I
You
guess
can
we
move
could,
seats if you
yeah.
need to. Let's go ahead and move
Yeah.
seats. And when you come back, I'll let you go back to your seat, but
Okay.
you can move for now.
Can you repeat the question?
I think like
Yeah.
one of
So
the biggest things, oh sorry.
you're fine. I was asked to repeat the question, so I'll just repeat it for everyone. The group is primarily about anxiety.
Mhm.
That's gonna look different for everyone. But what is something that you would like to get out of our time together? Like,
Yeah.
what do you want to learn, explore, ask?
Okay, so I feel like for me it's more of
I just kind of want to learn how to like deal with it.
managing
Right.
anxiety.
Because I know that like we all
Because I don't know
deal
like
with
if
the
this is something I'm
symptoms
going to be
of
struggling with for the
anxiety,
rest of
but,
my
like,
life. So
how
like
do you deal
outside
with
of high
that and
school,
make
like I
the
still
situation
have
better?
like
How
a
do you
jam
deal with it
right?
faster?
And so it's gonna
So
get
that
worse. It's gonna get like
you
we
can
don't
just
know.
move
That's
on,
kind of why we're in
you
this
know?
group, right?
I think
So
that's
if there was
kind
a
of the
way that
biggest thing
we
that I want
could
to
have
in
like
this group.
tools to
Or, like,
use to help us in
I
the
think I
future
want to
outside
learn
of
what
this
the
group
root
would
of
be
my
helpful.
anxiety
That's
is.
what I was gonna say. Also management,
right now,
because
I
I
feel
mean,
like it's
I
over
think that
nothing.
sometimes the anxiety
And I
can
want
be
to know
like
what
stop
specifically
you from
triggers
doing
it,
things,
and
and
maybe
I would
like
be
what
able
happened
to
make me
know
just
how to
For sure.
like in
not
my
let
life,
that
Yeah.
go,
I
that
like that. I
anxiety
like
go to
that.
my head and
Mhm.
stuff, and like you said, for the future and stuff. So, yeah, same thing.
Okay. I'm excited. So, let's start with Rebecca.
So I mentioned just like finding ways to manage the anxiety. Mainly like once we leave the group, what are tools we can have to like help us.
Okay. I'm just gonna take some notes. So we can go ahead and make sure to squeeze all those things in here during our time. So, tools to kind of manage anxiety. Okay.
I also kind of said the same thing, tools to manage the things that like when I'm very anxious and I can't do things, like I can't study or stuff because I'm overwhelmed, I want to know how to like make sure that I'm still moving forward even when I'm stressed or, stuff like that.
I like what you said about moving forward and not like feeling like you're stuck
Exactly.
in this anxious
Yeah.
state. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So tools to manage anxiety, ways to kind of be able to move forward while still. Okay. Cool.
I said that I want to kind of get to the root of my anxiety and see what causes it and what triggers it.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of said the same thing as everybody else of just like ways to manage the anxiety, but also to like once you learn how to manage it, how do you move forward? And like able to just go on with daily life and activities, even when you're experiencing anxiety.
So I heard a couple of common themes, a lot of wanting to manage the anxiety, but also like not just stop there, but finding proactive ways to move forward. Does that sound about right for all you guys? Okay, awesome. Thank you all for sharing. I know that it's not always easy to express things that we typically tend to keep inside, so I appreciate you all being willing to share, so thank you. Well, one of the first things that I want to do is talk about levels of anxiety. So I kind of mentioned before, like we're all at different levels, and we experience anxiety in different ways and at different intensities. But one of the best ways to start managing anxiety is knowing how to like identify where you're at. And so we're gonna do what's called a mood check scale. So I gave you all little pieces of paper and pens before we started. So what I want you to do, and I'll kind of do along with you, we're just gonna draw a, I'm not good at math, like a line,
Horizontal line.
like a horizontal line, basically this.
Okay.
You know, like in math you have to like draw the little
Pop
points.
arts, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, and then it's gonna be 0 to 10. And then you can label that like however, if you want to put the numbers 1 through 10 on there, if you just want 0 and 10, it doesn't matter. This is your mood check scale.
For today, like how we're feeling today.
So we're just gonna go ahead and just draw out this little mood check scale. But since I heard that you guys want to be active, we're gonna do something a little different. Instead of just having you dot where you think you fall today, awesome, because that's where I was going. I'm actually gonna have you guys stand so we can get a little bit of movement going. And we're gonna put 0 here, we'll put 10 here, and then I'll kind of put 5 here. And don't worry about, fitting. But if you could just go ahead and stand where you think you are, with 0 being like the most calm, at peace, restful you've ever felt, and 10 being like you're about to fight someone and like yank someone's weave, I don't know, but you're just like emotionally overloaded. So where do you think, if you could just stand anywhere in between this little scale, where do you think you are?
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, where do you think you are today? And if you're all on the same spot. Okay, so
Kind of like on the 5.
yeah, kind of on the, so like maybe 5.25?
Yeah, 5.5.
Oh, 5.5, okay.
I'm kind of at like a 7, but I'm just standing.
A 7? Awesome. Yeah, personal space. It's all good. So 5.5.
7.5.
7.5.
Whoever, Rebecca.
Yes. And Layla, how about you?
I would say like a 6 and 7, like 6.5-ish. Yeah.
Okay, that's some pretty high numbers today. Man. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's go ahead and go back to our seats.
Okay.
Thanks for participating. Just leave those there.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Let's talk about 7.5. That was
Okay.
you, Rebecca or Kyler?
Oh, that was him.
Kyler. Okay. What does a 7.5 feel like for you?
I would have to say like definitely at that point where I would fight somebody, but like I'm still trying to keep everything like controlled,
Sure. Okay. So does that feel like pounding in the heart, like elevated, like sweaty palms? Does
Feels
it
more
physically
like-
feel like
It
anything?
feels more like a Coke bottle filled with Mentos. It's
Okay.
like gonna explode, but still has the cap on.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I love that analogy because that means like the pressure is really, really building. And so what needs to happen there is like we need to like open the cap just a little bit to allow some of the pressure to ease out. That's one of the things that we're going to explore is like how can we like twist our bottles a little bit. So like what areas of our life can be considered like little holes where like you know the tension can escape through, which is called like a lot of times that comes in the form of self-care, which we'll talk about later. Super pumped for that lesson, but man, okay. Thanks for sharing that, and thanks for using that analogy because that's definitely something that we can probably all relate to. It's like, okay. So let me go next.
I can go. I think that anxiety kind of looks like being tense for me, and maybe like biting my lip, biting my nails. I don't know, just being really like nitpicky with things, like with details and stuff, and
Okay. You were at a 5.5, right? So is this what a 5.5 feels like, or?
yeah, I think so.
Okay. Man, thanks for sharing.
I'll go next.
Okay.
I feel, well, I was at a 7, and so for me, that's kind of like I'm struggling sleeping. Like last night, I think I went to bed at like 3 a.m. And so, and then that's like affecting everything else because I still have to wake up early to come to school, and so it's like I'm just tired, and I feel that's like affecting everything. It's just there's so much on my mind, and I don't know how to like stop my mind from thinking about everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, well, we're glad to see you here today. Even though you didn't get a great night's rest. Sounds hard.
My anxiety is kind of similar. It's like, it is also like a tenseness or like a, you can't fully breathe, kind of like a very, I can't relax, and also just overthinking a lot. And then sometimes I overthink so much, like if I have lots of assignments, I'll just think about them and I'll get so stressed out I won't actually study, and then which stresses me out more because I'm not studying. And then I'm more stressed, and it's just a big cycle, and it's like if it kind of builds up, I can't breathe more, and it's just a lot.
So kind of, man, a perpetuating cycle. Can anyone else relate to like how
Yeah.
things just kind of start
Yeah.
small and then they spiral and then it's
Yeah.
just a cycle and it doesn't seem to be able to end?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And then I heard restlessness or not being able to sleep. Is anyone else?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, yeah, anxiety is hard, which makes me even more glad that you are all here because you want to like proactively learn to like manage and move forward. So I love all of that. Has this little mood check scale been helpful in any way in being able to visualize where you are on that scale? Okay, I'm glad. Let's talk about, if y'all are comfortable with sharing, if you could maybe share like where you think your primary source of anxiety comes from. Is that a clear question or is that too broad?
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, I think my primary source of anxiety is schoolwork, like she said.
Okay.
Just procrastination and feeling overwhelmed, feeling like I'm not doing enough, and just kind of feeling stuck. I think it's schoolwork right now.
Okay.
I would say school, but like everything in school, like even like friendships and stuff. I think it's kind of hard balancing like all this work and like keeping up with things and dealing with like friends or classmates or teachers. I think it's just all a lot,
Overwhelming
Yeah,
sometimes.
definitely.
I would say that mine is probably like all the like personal family issues mixed with like still having to deal with everything with school. So just like balancing those two different aspects is like having to help my family a lot more than I'm used to. and then like still having to perform well in school, and then having like high expectations from their family to do well in school. It's just like dealing with all of that is just like making everything kind of hard to balance.
Yeah. Exacerbating the situation, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I know mine definitely stems from school as well, but like school mixed with after school activities. I just feel like a lot of the time I don't have enough time to get everything done. And even though like school is like the main responsibility, I also have responsibilities to my after school activities for like sports and stuff like that. So
Okay.
Time management.
yeah.
Time management. Okay. That made the list a couple times. So some of the common themes were anxiety from school, from relationships, and from home, and definitely like being able to manage time, maybe in a more constructive way. Okay, this is great. So thank you so much. These are definitely areas that we will be addressing for the next few weeks. Our time is dwindling, so I know time flies when you're having fun. I swear. So I don't want to leave you guys empty-handed. So I want to go over one quick activity that you guys can do literally anywhere that'll kind of just help bring the heart rate down. Because a lot of times when we're anxious, we kind of get like an accelerated heart rate. I know that you mentioned earlier, like feeling like you can't breathe. And like if we can just slow down a little bit and slow our breath down a little bit, that is super, super helpful. And we'll get into like the medical benefits of that next session. But I want to leave you guys with like a little tidbit. So what I want you to do is just go ahead and throw your mood check scales on the floor. I like to sit back a little bit, but like whatever is most comfortable for you. And then we are going to just place one hand on our chest like this, and then the other hand on our belly like this. I'm going to try my best to demonstrate this because it can be kind of tricky. I don't know. It was kind of hard for me to learn when I first started, but whatever. So we're just going to take big, deep breaths. And the goal is for your bottom hand, the one on your belly, to move more than the hand on your chest. So it kind of looks like just breathing breathing from the belly and not the chest, right? So you guys can kind of just continue doing it. I'm just gonna talk for a little bit and take some breaths in between. But when we're able to like slow down our breathing, like I said, it slows down the heart rate and it kind of opens up the brain a little bit to allow it to process things more easily. Often when we're in a state of anxiety, it kind of activates our fight or flight response. And that means that in order to pump the blood from your legs and your arms to kind of fight or flight is taking all the blood from your head. And so we're not able to focus as clearly. Sometimes we make poor decisions, and so allowing the heart rate to slow down by taking big deep breaths, we are allowing ourselves to be able to make better decisions and think more clearly by allowing some of the blood to stay in our brain to allow us to do that. The second thing is that when we are taking control of our own breath, so you're choosing when to inhale, when to exhale, how long to hold it, right? Like in that moment, I got to control when I breathed in, when I breathed out. So I'm in literal control of my life in that moment. I think that's a really beautiful thing. So just breathing deeply is something that I want to leave you guys with. There are several other variations, most that include breathing in some way that we'll be exploring during our time together, but I did want to leave you guys with that before I sent you back off to class into the abyss. But yeah, before I let you guys go, are there any questions or comments or things that you just want to share? No? Okay. Well, it was so great to meet you guys, and I'm really excited to see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.